Sometimes the NFL feels scripted, as if the storylines fall into place without anyone having to write them. Week 3 brings one of those moments. The Raiders are heading east to face the Washington Commanders, and within just 48 hours, the entire narrative of this matchup flipped upside down. A team looking to bounce back from being humbled by the Chargers suddenly found itself holding what looked like 2 golden tickets. 2 pieces of news dropped almost back to back, changing not only the betting lines in Las Vegas, but the mood of Raider Nation itself. The first headline hit like a thunderclap. Jaden Daniels, Washington's prized rookie quarterback, was officially ruled out with a knee injury. Since the moment he stepped into the league, Daniels has been the heartbeat of the Commanders. He gave them energy, legs that extended broken plays, and enough explosiveness to mask a roster that, truthfully, lacks depth. 12 wins and a playoff berth as a rookie. A future franchise cornerstone. And now sidelined. Washington has no choice but to turn to Marcus Mariota, a veteran journeyman whose career has long since shifted from face of the future to break glass in case of emergency. But that wasn't the only news that mattered. Just as Raiders fans were digesting the idea of facing a backup quarterback, word came down that Jackson Powers-Johnson cleared concussion protocol and would be back anchoring the offensive line. His absence against the Chargers left scars. Protection calls fell apart, the run game evaporated, and Geno Smith was left forcing throws behind shaky blocking. The return of JPJ means stability. It means communication restored at the line of scrimmage, and it means the Raiders' offense can finally operate the way it was designed. So 2 seismic shifts in less than 2 days. Washington loses its engine. Las Vegas gets its foundation back. On paper, that tilts the scales heavily. But the NFL has never been about paper. It's about execution. And if the Raiders have learned anything from the past few years, it's that overlooking a backup quarterback is the fastest path to embarrassment. Marcus Mariota isn't Jaden Daniels. He isn't breaking off 40-yard scrambles or throwing deep on the run with reckless creativity. But he's also not helpless. He can move. He can hit his first read. He can roll out and sneak a 7-yard gain before defenders realize he's tucked the ball. If you give him rhythm, if you let him settle into comfort, he can hurt you. The Raiders have been burned before. Andy Dalton did it. Baker Mayfield did it. Every fan remembers. That's why Patrick Graham's defense must treat Mariota like a legitimate threat. Collapse the pocket. Force him to read coverages. Don't let him live off broken plays. Make him string together long, patient drives because this Washington offense doesn't have the weapons to sustain them. And speaking of weapons, the Commanders are limping. John Bates, their best blocking tight end, is out. Noah Brown, one of their depth receivers, also out. Austin Eckler, the back who was supposed to give Daniels easy completions, has been lost for weeks. What's left? A rookie tight end, a rookie back in Jackery Krosky-Merritt, and Terry McLaurin forced to shoulder everything on the perimeter. That is a thin, fragile hand to play against a front 7 that has been stifling opponents on the ground. 2 weeks in, the Raiders have allowed just 70 rushing yards per game. Both leading rushers? Quarterbacks, not running backs. That's dominance up front. The defensive mission is clear. Stuff the run. Force Mariota to drop back 30 times, and then create turnovers. 2 takeaways is the magic number. Whether it's a strip sack, a tipped interception, or a forced fumble, the Raiders need to flip the field and give their offense short chances. That is how you suffocate a wounded opponent. But the defense can't carry this team alone. The offense has to clean up its own house. Geno Smith's numbers through 2 weeks are painful. 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, too many forced throws, too much impatience, too many home run swings when a check down would keep the drive alive. Against the Patriots, he survived. Against the Chargers, it cost them dearly. He said it himself watching film. It was hard. Now comes the chance to prove he can adjust. Washington's secondary is not elite. There's no shutdown corner lurking to erase options. If Geno stays patient, if he takes what the defense gives, the big shots will come naturally, and with JPJ back, there is no excuse not to run the football. Balance has been missing. Against the Chargers, the Raiders threw for over 360 yards but managed just 53 on the ground. That ratio cannot continue. Ashton Jeanty must touch the ball 20 times, minimum. Run between the tackles. Dump passes out of the backfield. Establish a rhythm. Force Washington's defense to respect the run, because if Geno is dropping back 40 times again, turnovers are inevitable. The Raiders' skill talent is there. Jacoby Myers, Tucker, Thornton, Brock Bowers. Speed, size, versatility. But talent means little without discipline. Geno has to trust his reads. The line has to trust its calls. With JPJ commanding the middle, that discipline is within reach again. Special teams add another layer of security. Daniel Carlson remains steady, AJ Cole flips the field, and coverage units force opponents to earn every yard. In a game like this, those hidden moments matter. A 45-yard punt pinning Mariota at his own 8 could be the difference between a drive ending in frustration or an upset. Yet the biggest piece of this week isn't tactical. It's psychological. The Raiders walked off the field Monday night against the Chargers knowing they were outclassed. That was a playoff roster exposing the gap between contender and pretender. But this week is different. This isn't a heavyweight test. This is the kind of game you must win if you want to prove you're climbing out of mediocrity. Drop it, and the whispers about same old Raiders grow louder. Win it, and suddenly you're 2-1 with momentum, with confidence, with proof that you can take advantage of opportunity. Opportunity. That is the word here. The NFL doesn't hand out gifts often, but this week the Raiders got 2. Washington lost its quarterback. Las Vegas regained its center. That is a swing few teams ever see in September. The question isn't whether the opportunity is there. The question is whether the Raiders are disciplined enough, mature enough, and good enough to cash it in. What do you think, Raider Nation? Can Geno Smith clean up the mistakes and lead this offense with balance? Will the defense take advantage of Mariota and turn pressure into turnovers? Or is there still danger in underestimating a veteran backup with nothing to lose? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more deep dives on your Raiders every week.